So Avengers Doomsday is going to be a very big film. And Marvel hasn't had much time to actually adapt a lot of the stuff that will be in it. So this video is going to be me talking about what will be in Doomsday based off the comics. Now, this doesn't mean that, I'm saying, things related to the MCU that won't be in Doomsday. No. Things that are in the 2015 Secret Wars and Time Runs Out comics run, that whole run with the new Avengers and Avengers, all that, what will and won't be in Doomsday. So it's not just MCU. I don't care, if it's, they haven't set this up, that's why it won't be in Doomsday. It's just, what are they adapting, what are they not? And I know I'm probably missing a lot of stuff, even though I have at least 26 things written down, but yeah. Anyways, I'm splitting this. I know I just talked about the not, because a lot of this will be a not, but I split this up into what will not be in Doomsday, what may be in Doomsday just changed a lot, and then what will be in Doomsday. And then the final one is what won't be in Doomsday, but will, I think, maybe be in Secret Wars. So, yeah, and I actually have notes for this one. I know, it's so shocking. Anyways, I'm going to start off with the not, because I think that is more interesting. First off is the Builders. That's what I wrote. If you don't know what the Builders are, they're just really powerful entities, essentially. Two heroes that they empower to join the new Avengers, Starbrand, and I think his name was Nighthawk. I kind of forgot his name. He could basically just have a lot of power, but he would lose his age. But I think they just made him really old, so he just could age for a while, and then Starbrand just got really powerful. Both of them actually, killing themselves in the process, defeated a Beyonder. So, they're powerful. And the Builders did have a part to play in Time Runs Out, Secret Wars, in the time before Time Runs Out. But, I mean, come on, we have no movies left. We're not, and I doubt Doomsday is going to go into the Builders. So, we're not getting the Builders, nor are we getting any characters related to the Builders. Now, this one may be iffy. I'm a bit iffy on what will or will not be in Doomsday for this one. The Beyonders. I don't think the Beyonders will be in Doomsday. I know that's really weird because the Beyonders are, the thing about the Secret Wars and Time Runs Out stuff. They are the #1 villain. I mean, Doctor Doom kind of replaces them. But the reason why the multiverse is dying is because the Beyonders wanted to kill the multiverse. The reason why, quick reason for why. If you want to know why, later comics expanded that there's this being called the Enigma, who Al Ewing first set up to be stronger than the one above all, aka God, but then they just didn't follow through with that. But a very powerful entity that will have killed the multiverse forever. Wouldn't have reset the multiverse cycle, whatever, forever, so they just killed it temporarily. Quick Marvel lore for you. Anyways, I just don't see how they can set the Beyonders. There's a lot to set up. I mean, the huge threat about the Beyonders is there's this, really awesome panel where he killed, 3 Beyonders killed, basically, the right hand to God. They killed every cosmic entity across the multiverse. That things like that. And it's I don't know how they haven't even set up Doctor Doom, and there's 3 personalities to Doctor Doom that they would have to set up if they truly want to do Secret Wars. I don't think they have time for the Beyonders. May say God Emperor Doom. I'll talk about God Emperor Doom later. Anyways, next one, which is a bit of a bigger one, but actually not bigger than the Beyonders, but a bigger one that is most definitely, I know, not going to get adapted. The Black Priest and all the storyline around it. I have genuinely no clue how they could adapt this. I'm going to go on a rant after, the next 2, because genuinely a Doctor Strange 3 movie could have been so helpful. But yeah, Black Priest says there's no shot this is getting adapted. You have to adapt a whole Doctor Strange story with the Blood Bible and him going to the market where you sell 10% of your soul for infinite power. He sold 100% of his soul for total power, where he became the king of the Black Priests. A Black Priest is basically, you can say, one word, and you need to go with other Black Priests. Let's say you want to say, I want a bottle of water. You need, I want a bottle of water. You need 6 Black Priests to, you would need 6 Black Priests to say that. And you would get a bottle of water. But if you say, want I water bottle, wait, that's not my sentence. Maybe just rearrange the sentence a bit, and then you'll get 1,000,000 bottles of water. Basically, depending on what they say, and depending on how they arrange their sentences, depends on how powerful they will be. They can be very powerful, or it can be a little bit less than very powerful. They're very powerful, though. They are also known as the white blood cells of the multiverse. They're essentially trying to prevent all these incursions by destroying the universes before they have an incursion. An incursion is where two universes go together, both causing either one to die or both to die. And it's killing the multiverse, essentially. And the Black Priestesses are trying to slow it down or just completely stop it. Now, again, Doctor Strange, like I said... Oh, wait, I was explaining what Doctor Strange's power is. Basically, he can say whatever words he wants as a Black Priest. Any word the Black Priests have, say it now. Say it right there. And that makes him one of the strongest beings in Marvel, so that's cool. But, yeah, they have no time to do this. Like I said, I'm going to go on my Doctor Strange 3 rant, but, yeah, I just don't see how they can adapt this, which sucks. It's a cool story. Speaking of one, which is very related to the Black Priests, the Black Swans. Yeah, not getting adapted. I mean, you also, and with the Black Swans, you have to adapt Rabu Malal. I'll talk about him in a second. Yeah, again, it's a whole other, like, really long storyline. It goes across a lot of time runs out, and before, and Black Swans are still a thing in Marvel. They actually killed all the Black Priests. Like, you need to go over a lot, and Rabu Malal is a core part of that. You may not know what Rabu Malal is. Basically, he is Doctor Doom. So, spoilers for the character that won't show up in Doomsday, but it's Doctor Doom. Basically, he's the Messiah and the creator of the Black Swans, and it's just Doctor Doom. It's revealed to be Doctor Doom, and he kind of used them for power, yada yada. You get it, right? Again, you would need to set up Rabu Malal, and then you need to set up Doctor Doom's perspective of Rabu Malal, and then you need to have his storyline with the next character that's not showing up for him to become God Emperor Doom and rule Battle World. You're not getting to all this. This is just not happening. I mean, like, there's no chance. There's just not a shot in hell if this is happening, you know? So... yeah, I mean, unless this movie's like 6 hours long, there's no chance they establish all this. Anyways, next thing is Molecule Man, which is, again, very weird because this is a very crucial part of the story. There's no chance. I mean, the Fantastic Four First Steps was really the last point you had to adapt Molecule Man. So, yeah, I mean, it'd just be odd to fit in, establish his character, establish how he works with the Beyonders, establish what he is for the Beyonders, establish his origin, establish his power, then have him linked to Doctor Doom. Like, it's not gonna work. It's the reason why Johnathan Hickman took, like, what, 50? Like, a lot of issues to explain that, you know? Also, Doctor Strange 3 rant, I almost missed it. Okay, you know what, this may be a hot take. If Doctor Strange 3 could properly execute a couple of plot lines, mainly the Beyonders, Black Priest, Black Swan, and then Rabu Malal, could set up all that so we can get a proper adaptation of Secret Wars and Doomsday, I would immediately be like, I would, without a second thought, replace Brand New Day with that. I think Secret Wars and Time Runs Out is the greatest comic book run ever. I don't even think it's that close. B, yeah, if we have something set up to that, which is also an equally excellent story, I'm sorry, I'm replacing Brand New Day. You can come on later, Brand New Day. I don't care, we need some setup for this. Doctor Strange 3 is a movie that should have come out yesterday. I mean, come on. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, like it or not, it is like one of 2 projects that have set up incursions. Actually, maybe 3. Quantumania, which is basically filler now, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and maybe Loki were the only projects in this entire saga to set up incursions. Incursions are like the #1 part of Secret Wars. That's why Secret Wars happens, is because of the incursions. So without incursions, and without that setup, there's no Secret Wars, right? Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the only movie that actually matters and sets up incursions. Like, sure, Loki, it matters and sets up incursions a little bit. But it's not a movie, so a lot of people didn't see it, you know? And then you get to a problem of, like, the Black Swans and Black Priestess should have so easily been set up. Clea wants Doctor Strange to, Clea wants Doctor Strange to stop an incursion. How did Doctor Strange stop an incursion in the comics? Reading the Blood Bible, going to the market, selling his soul, becoming the king of the Black Priest. Why don't we do that? Why didn't we just make a movie about that? That's a great movie. And then we can set up the Black Swans as a villain, and then that will inherently bring upon Rabu Malal, maybe set him up, and then have Doctor Doom be revealed, oh, he's Rabu Malal, I don't care. And the Beyonders can be set up for, they are the ones causing the incursions. Boom, we have a lot more grounds for Doomsday. Maybe Doctor Doom-wise we don't, but still, we have a lot of stuff to do. Okay, we have a lot of stuff that's established, and it's good. It's all good. Anyways, yeah. Point is, we need Doctor Strange 3 yesterday. Anyways, then next one is the Illuminati and all the stories that come with it, including the Black Priestess Strange, but also Superior Iron Man. Don't think that's happening. Cap losing his powers and becoming the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. to hunt after all the Illuminati members. That's not happening. Everything with Professor X, that's not happening. Like, none of the X-Men, I don't think any of that's happening. Mainly because, all the Namor stuff and the Cabal, I'll talk about the Cabal later. None of that's happening. the Black Panther stuff, none of that's happening in Doomsday. I think, I'll talk about that later. The reason why I think that is because, half the members are dead. I mean, it's like half the members are either dead, not gonna be in the movie, or not set up yet. And then all of them make no sense to be in an Illuminati. So yeah. And then I put another one of Valeria. Valeria has some importance especially in Secret Wars. She's a pretty important part as being a somewhat insider to Doctor Doom and God Emperor Doom in Secret Wars. She's not showing up. I don't know how. They would have to. I think how they're gonna bring Valeria into the MCU, because I hope they bring Valeria into the MCU. Anyways, I think the way that they're gonna do it is that after they reboot the multiverse, they had twins and Valeria is Franklin's twin. I think that's how it's gonna go down, because they wouldn't just make another Fantastic Four project where Sue Storm's pregnant again with a really smart child, smarter than Reed. I don't get why they would do that. Anyways. So that's done with the knot. And a lot more could be put in the knot, but I put it in the Secret Wars category. But yeah. Anyways, my mixed on, let's just start there, is God Emperor Doom. I'm mixed because I don't know if it should be in Secret Wars or not. Because again, I already established I don't think the Beyonders can be properly set up or will be in this film. I don't get how. But God Emperor Doom, maybe he kills all the Kangs and takes their power. Maybe he absorbs all the incursions instead of the Beyonders' powers. Honestly, I don't know. I think he will be in Secret Wars, but there's honestly just a chance that they're just gonna make Doctor Doom really OP, and no God Emperor Doom. So, yeah. And then my mix is the New Avengers, and I do think, of course, the New Avengers, we just had a movie on them, right? They're gonna be in the film. Yeah, of course they are. But I don't think it's gonna be the same way. Of course, they have a whole different team. I mean, in the New Avengers in the comics, you have Hyperion, Starbrand, Nighthawk, or whatever the other guy's name was, Thor. Like, there's this really cool moment where Thor becomes so worthy that he can't lift Mjolnir of the unworthy, and him and Hyperion jump into battle of, 100 Beyonders, and then they could both go to Valhalla together. Great moment. Anyways, how they can't, no shot they adapt that. There's just no chance. So yeah, then the fight between 616 and 1610, those are two incursion to Earth about to have an incursion. And the reason why is because 1610 hasn't been set up, the Ultimate Universe. Now, this is why it's been mixed. I have two options. First off, it's going to be Sam Wilson's Avengers team versus the New Avengers. That's a chance. Probably not. I think they'll more likely team up. For the second option, where they're going to fight the Fox X-Men universe. That's more likely for me. And then eventually, but that only will be the first third of the film, and then afterwards, they'll go fight Doctor Doom or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be the entire film, and Doctor Doom is just a plotting figure throughout the film. I don't know. We like generally this one was really impressive on the fact that they've had like no plot leaks. They've had no leaks. Period. Honestly, like very impressive. But anyways, where was that? Okay, yeah, 16 and 16. Okay, so I don't know. So that's either the X-Men universe fighting, or the better option, in my opinion, Monica and Rambeau. Remember the Marvels? Probably not. You didn't see it. I know you didn't. That movie that exists, where Monica and Rambeau, actually one of the few movies, actually add that to the 3 movies that actually talked about incursions, because it does. When Monica goes to the other X-Men universe, what I think is most likely going to be the case is that universe is the Fox X-Men universe, maybe in the Days of Future Past timeline. And that's how we get our Fox X-Men back, and that's who are fighting. Now, that also would probably imply that Captain Marvel will come back, but here's my thing. Unlike Benedict Cumberbatch, I'm pretty positive is not coming back in Doomsday, although it's confirmed to come back in Secret Wars. The reason why I don't think it's coming back in Doomsday is because Doctor Strange is a beloved character, and Benedict Cumberbatch is a really beloved actor. So why would you not announce him already? Brie Larson, people like Brie Larson as an actress. She's a great actress. But people hate Captain Marvel's character. People didn't like her first movie. People overhated on her second movie, I will say. It's a fine film. But it got no money. So why would they promote Brie Larson coming in? People didn't like Captain Marvel. So, of course, they wouldn't promote her character. But I have no reason for why Doctor Strange is not promoted, other than he's not in the film. Anyways, so we're done with the mix, and here are the will be in the films, and it's a lot of the basic stuff. First one, I do think we'll see the many options of 616 heroes trying to stop incursions. I think that'll be neat. I think we'll see a bit of it. And back to the incursions. It's basically the only plot thread done with the multiverse. It is like the only plot thread in Marvel, in the MCU so far, that has set up multiversal destruction for Battleworld, which is my third one. Doctor Doom will create Battleworld in some way and rule over it and shape reality, whatever. He's going to restart reality. That's my point. Those are my 3 will be in the film at the end. The Doctor Doom one will be at the end. But, I think those are pretty, they're going to be in the film. Now, a lot more of the comic, I think, will be in Secret Wars, which will be the rest of the video, I will just tell you. So, first one of I think will be in Secret Wars, I'll lump the first 2 together, is the Thor Corp and Planet Hulk. If you don't know what the Thor Corp is, it's basically a whole bunch of Thors that rule over as a sort of police of Doom World. Or, sorry, not Doom World, Battle World. Yeah, it's not really something that they have to set up. They can just exist. Just bring in multiple versions of Thors, or just people who wield Mjolnir. I'm pretty sure Jane Foster's one of them. Generally just bring in different Thors, and you're good. So there's no setup for that. And because we're getting Savage Hulk back, I'm more confident in Planet Hulk. And I'll just say one thing: there were a leak thing that there would be Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, Hulk, and then Scar in this film. It was in those, what are they called? A concept art. It was in a leaked concept art. Honestly, because of how 4K it was, I think it's leaked concept art. I think it was leaked by people just to get people hyped. But here's my thing. I don't know how to trust that, because there's a couple of things that is just odd, where it just doesn't line up. There's one with Sheriff Strange, who we'll talk about later, and the Richards family around Doom on a throne with Reed Richards standing in front of them, or kneeling in front of them. That could definitely be, but that would more be Secret Wars promo art. No shot we're going to Battleworld and Doomsday. I wouldn't be opposed, but I would be okay, we're already at Battleworld? I feel like that's more of a Secret Wars thing. So, I don't know, maybe it's Secret Wars concept art too, because also Black Panther is there. He's not coming back in Doomsday. Sure, Black Panther will, but it was a new T'Challa. I don't think that's happening in Doomsday. I think that'll happen in Secret Wars. Spoiler alert. Also, Sheriff Strange, I don't know how that's happening in Doomsday. Maybe if they just set up, just say Doctor Strange had been with Doctor Doom this whole time, but to set up their connection. I don't know. And then there's also one where it had the Young Avengers, which may be true. It had Star-Lord leading Young Avengers, and at that point, Speed wasn't introduced, but we know that he will be introduced. Actually, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that he'll be introduced in Vision Quest to finish off the WandaVision series trilogy. Or the Maximoff trilogy. Maybe that's what we should call it, the Maximoff trilogy of shows. Anyways, finish that off. So I do think that may be a chance for Secret Wars, but honestly, especially since the Young Avengers actually were supposed to be in Kang Dynasty, because we had that one leaked script where they beat a Kang. Like, they beat a Kang in a fight. So, that's neat. So yeah, the reason why Planet Hulk is here, because I don't think they would have, especially because of the budget, to have like 100 Hulks. Like, that's a lot of Hulks. And they're World Breaker Hulks. You haven't even set up World Breaker Hulk. But yeah, I do think a Planet Hulk will be in Secret Wars. Next one I wrote Sue Von Doom, which is basically that Doom will make the world his own and have his family. I think that's going to happen in Secret Wars, you know. The scene where he takes off his mask, great scene, by the way. That scene is probably going to happen in Doomsday, which I think is the only scene where he should take off his mask. Only one. Don't think he should remove his mask at all. Only time is in that scene. The next one kind of goes with it is Sheriff Strange. I have a question mark, because if they don't set up the Doctor Strange in Doomsday and his relationship with Doom, I don't know how we're going to get to Sheriff Strange. The reason why that death is impactful is that, for Doom at least, is that it's a betrayal. Doctor Strange actually grew a connection and worked with Doom. It would be a betrayal. So I don't get how they would do that, but honestly, based off, again, that leaked concept art, they definitely could. But yeah. The next one is the Cabal, and solely for one moment. Actually, a couple reasons. Namor is going to be in the film. And he confirmed for Doomsday, and that means he's probably confirmed for Secret Wars as well. I think he will be in Secret Wars because of the whole Cabal story. Or Namor, my bad. But anyways, you may be wondering, well, why doesn't that mean the Cabal will be in Doomsday? The answer is because of what the Cabal is. The Cabal is Thanos. Thanos is a huge part of the Cabal. And I think, even though it would be story accurate, but they would, because they kill off Thanos, they'd have to come up with some BS way to bring him back. In a battle world situation where every universe in the multiverse is just combined into one planet, you definitely have more of a justification to bring Thanos back, because, it's just an alternate universe Thanos. And then people would find it cheap anyways, even though they didn't really have another way. But and the reason why I think they would do that, even though, again, people would find it cheap, is because people would probably really want the spine extraction scene, where Thanos is like, but you are no god, I was a god, you are just a god, play. Like, you play God, I was God. And he's like, even without the gauntlet, I am much more powerful and strong enough to take you on. And Dr. Doom's like, that's not true, bro. And just rips out his spine, destroys his body. Like, that was a great scene. It was probably the most iconic scene of all of Secret Wars. Now, I don't know. I think they just want to do that because I've already seen people talk about it. I've already seen people, like, a year ago say, I know they're gonna do the spine extraction scene in theaters is gonna go crazy. And that's why. I don't want to say hyped up, especially by the time the film's getting there, and we see Doctor Doom in action Doomsday, and then they're gonna be, like, Secret Wars building up even more, that he will probably be God Emperor Doom. They're gonna be like, where's our spine extraction scene? Even though that's, like, that's not even close to his most impressive feat. I mean, he literally fights the Phoenix Force incarnate with, Cyclops with the full power of the Phoenix Force, and wins. Easily, might I add. Speaking of which, is next to the Phoenix Force. There's a bit with the Phoenix eggs and Cyclops adapting, like I said, the full power of the Phoenix Force, and he fights Doom. Don't know, maybe Cyclops will live. And here's what I think. Okay, so we all know Sydney Sink. Sydney Sink? Wait, that's not her name. Shoot. Who's the... Wait. Okay, so we all know. Who is the Stranger Things girl? That girl. Stranger Things. Sadie Sink. I was so close. See, I don't know, I combined Sydney Sweeney and Sadie Sink together. Sydney Sink. Works perfectly fine. And with Sadie Sink, we all know she's playing Jean Grey. Like, let's just be honest. She's playing Jean Grey. I mean, hey, spoiler if you don't care about the leak trailer that may or may not come out in like 4 days. Skip like 30 seconds. Yeah, she's playing Jean Grey. I mean, they showed a lot with mind control, and they literally had a shot of a blast that looked like kind of a mind control-esque blast, a telepathy blast that froze the entire city of New York. Yeah, she's playing Jean Grey. It's obvious. And I think that this movie will actually bring her together with the Phoenix Force for the first time, and it will make an excuse for, there not to be a Phoenix Force X-Men film, because that never ends up well. Dark Phoenix never turns out well. Both movies suck. So that's not gonna happen. And maybe they do it in Secret Wars, and it'll work well, and she fights Doctor Doom, but then she would also have to die. But maybe she just brings in the Secret Wars, the Secret Wars brings in the Phoenix Force, gives it to Scott, and then he dies. Maybe a good way to end James Marsden's character after he's hopefully really cool. So yeah, that's what I think. And the next one is kind of same vein, Black Panther. One of the most iconic fights. Black Panther takes a bunch of Infinity Stones from different universes, and because Battle World is an amalgamation of a bunch of different universes, it works. Which, by the way, if you want to know, in comics, it doesn't seem like the MCU follows this because of What If, but in the comics, you can only use the Infinity Stones of your universe in your universe. Anyways, because of that, Black Panther will just start beating up Doctor Doom, even though, realistically, he really shouldn't. Like, the Phoenix Force is much more powerful. But he loses, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. I think that'll happen, and I think that's how they're going to bring Black Panther back into the MCU, and that's what Black Panther 3 is going to be, because, come on, I mean, Chadwick Boseman, perfect casting. It's like a top 25 comic book casting of all time. I'm not going to say it's like top 10, because I personally don't think it's top 10, but it's an amazing casting. But, the character's more than just one actor. And plus, they've recast, Thaddeus Ross. They recasted him. It was I get it. That was very personal to Kevin Feige, studio, Ryan Coogler, and they wanted to treat it properly. Yes. But, we need Black Panther. I'm sorry. We can't have Shuri be Black Panther forever. We need Black Panther doing Black Panther stories. It's just gotta happen. I'm sorry. As I'm saying, Christopher Reeves died as Superman, so we can never make another Superman. I mean, on a lesser extent, because Black Panther is not quite Superman level, but still, I find it just a bit absurd that people are so timid that they just don't want to recast Black Panther. Because, Black Panther's pretty important. He's not, if I had to say 10 most important Marvel characters, maybe not top 10, but he would probably make 20, maybe even 15. So definitely they need to bring him back, and I think Secret Wars is the perfect opportunity to do that. Anyways, next one is the Survivors, which is just the people who survived Battle World coming on in a different ship, show up halfway through the movie. Reason why it may or may not happen is because it's really based off, really just takes a bunch of people from the Ultimate Universe, like the Maker and Miles Morales. Anyways, last one, which, good way to end it, the recreation of the multiverse. Yeah, it's probably gonna happen. Frank Richards is probably gonna recreate the multiverse just as he does in the comics, and maybe he gives himself a sister, which is how he introduced Valeria. Also, one quick thing that I don't think will happen in Secret Wars, don't think will happen, is Adam Warlock becoming the new Living Tribunal. Even if it's a different character, Thanos and some other character, maybe even if it's different from Thanos, two characters meeting with the one above all, to become the Living Tribunal. It would just be really confusing, especially since they won't set up the Living Tribunal, and that sure as hell means they haven't set up the one above all. Anyways, these are just my theories. Hell, maybe some miracle they adapt all of this and it works out well, and it will be the greatest comic book movie of all time, because if any movie were to ever properly adapt the 2015 Secret Wars, all of it, then yeah, it would be the greatest comic book film of all time and wouldn't even be close. Although I will say, like, I can tell you, I have barely scratched the surface on anything in Secret Wars. Like, I have gone, like, for the most bare bones, most important stuff. There's so much more. Like, I just skipped, like, the Illuminati plotline has so much to it. So if you want to know what I think they should have done with Secret Wars, recast Kang. Honestly, just do a different character, Jonathan Majors. The whole point is that it's infinite variants. They just did the mistake to constantly keep on making it Jonathan Majors. Recast Kang, should have finished it out with him, done whatever you want, maybe get new writers still, because the writers weren't going to be good. Do something else, right? And then make a whole new saga. I'm not kidding you, Secret Wars saga. You could have an entire saga about the time before time runs out, Battle World. That could be an entire saga. Those were all different phases. You know, like, that would be so easy and so much better to do. I don't get why they didn't do that. They should have done that. But, some people would be like, it's too drawn out. No, it's not. You could generally stretch all of that into 3 phases, and it'd be the best phase in the MCU by a mile. Anyways, or best saga in the MCU by a mile. All of them would be the best phase in the MCU by a mile. This is how much I love Secret Wars. And, yeah. So, hopefully the movie comes out well. This is not a diss towards the movie. Like, I'm just saying it probably won't be comic accurate. Which, again, not a diss. I think anyone who's like, oh, it's not comic accurate enough, are stupid. Like, it's an adaptation, not a perfect one-for-one. You don't need to be perfectly comic accurate all the time. You have the comics for that. So, yeah. It can be an amazing movie and follow none of this. Just throw it up. Just throw it away. But they could adapt it, and that could be neat. Anyways, subscribe, and comment down below what you think will and will not be in the film.